Joe talks about Joe. And now, your host, Joe Slepsky.
Breaker 1, this is the Bandit. Breaker 1, this is the Bandit. Am I hitting you, son?
Eastbound and down,
Mercy
loaded
sakes.
up and trucking.
Mercy sakes,
We're
you put
gonna-
about 8.5 on me, blowing my windows out.
We're gonna do what they say
Can't be done. We got a long way to go.
And a short,
Short
time to get there. I'm surprised they've never remade this movie. It seemed like it would be an easy movie to remake, but maybe they don't want to.
It would be an incredibly... Smokey would be a really tough movie to remake.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah.
could be.
I think so, because, like...
I mean, Jackie Gleason is irreplaceable kind of thing, and you'd have to have
Gleason's
somebody as irrelevant as him. That
irreverent, not irrelevant.
Irreverent, yeah. But you know, I watched that movie recently.
Breaker 1. It's
Maybe
the
it's
Bandit,
like
my hitting you, son.
3 years ago, and I always thought he cussed a lot, but he actually doesn't cuss in terms of like actual swear words. He uses other stuff. That seems like swear words because he's like, "You some bitch,"
bitch.
something like that, you know. Something like, you know, he's like, it's so funny because it's like you think that he's just like swearing up and down like crazy.
No, it's
but
all
that's good
it's
at
all
such good acting.
pseudo fake
Yeah.
swear words that could only come out of the mouth of Jackie
Right,
Gleason.
like I'm gonna punch your mama in the mouth.
I'm gonna, Junior, when we get home, I'm gonna punch your mama in the. Put the evidence in the car, Junior.
This is brilliant.
Hey, did you get me my hush puppies, Daddy? There ain't no way. No way you came from my loins. When I get home, I'm gonna punch your mama in the mouth. I love Smokey and the Bandit.
It's so brilliant.
So much, Josh.
Yeah.
Yeah, just so much. Like, there's talk of doing a Smokey podcast.
Yeah.
From my end of the world, I've
there
been
are
trying to get
like 4 sequels or something.
well,
like that?
more than Smokey, but yeah. There's some talk on my side of trying to get that together.
I mean,
And,
you could kind of lump in Cannonball Run and maybe like
Well,
some of these other little Burt Reynolds movies that were kind of in the same genre where
Well, that's the thing. It's
kind of playing himself.
I don't want to.
He wasn't
Listeners,
doing
I don't want to put this out on Front Street too much, but it's a whole Burt Reynolds podcast is what it is. That's what we've been working on.
Right.
I've been working on
cool.
a top secret. It was nothing recorded yet, but a lot of big plans.
Nice.
And so who knows? Maybe 26 will be the year of Burt.
Yeah.
I don't know. Stay tuned for that. But listeners, we didn't open the show properly because I didn't want to lose that great Smoking the Bandit conversation. I got to be honest with you. I love Smoking the Bandit so much.
It's so
And
fun.
with me, in case you don't recognize his voice, is Josh Eggebeen. He of the After Action Report fame. This is the Joe and Joe podcast. Oh, hold on. Let me start officially. Hello again, everybody. This is the Joe and Joe podcast. We are here to talk about all things G.I. Joe. If you're new to this show, we've covered all the episodes of G.I. Joe Real American Hero, the comic book, all the episodes of the cartoons, Extreme, all that stuff. We're getting ready to start Renegades. Listeners, if you're hearing this, give me an email, shout out, reach out to me on social media. If you're a Renegades fan and you want to talk about Renegades, I want to get you on. It's at Joe and Joe Pod on all the socials. And send me an email to joeandjoepod@gmail.com to reach me on email. And we'll do an episode of the show. Those are going to be starting as of this recording airing. I believe those are starting like next episode. So strap it in, buckle down, get ready for some Renegades action. Josh, were you a fan of the Renegades?
I've seen them a couple times.
Yeah.
I like the idea. I thought it was cool.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not an expert on anything, and I honestly, at this point, without reviewing them, wouldn't know what to talk about off the top of my head.
That's okay. We're not doing a deep dive on that. What we're here today to talk about is your After Action Report books.
Yes.
Listeners, if you know the name, then you know the game. If you're not familiar with it, what Josh and his co-collaborators, Greg Augustin, Roger Taft, who am I missing?
Brian Sauer and Ted Jacobson.
They, over the years, have put together some amazing reference books, shelf reference books that first they've broke down all of the variations of the actual printed comic book issues of G.I. Joe. They did a special about G.I. Joe number 21, the silent issue. They're now about to unleash upon the world volume 2 of their amazing Command Files book, that primarily driven by Greg Augustin on that one.
Yes.
And they've got a new project that we're sort of quasi announcing today to the world. As of this airs, the word might have leaked a little bit, but this is kind of an official launch to mark your calendar with. So stay tuned. We're going to talk about that a little later in the show. And these are wonderful reference books that have been sold primarily through Kickstarter. Josh does all the conventions. So if you're going to any kind of Joe show, definitely in the SoCal area, but all over the country you've gone to. Yep. And they set up shop and they sell these great reference books, and they're awesome. What was the name of what did you guys call the books? It was just the After Action Report. There was the detail about the comic book versions. Is that just After Action Report?
So those are called the comic guides.
The comic guides.
And then the Command Files is called the character guides.
So the comic guides are incredibly detailed breakdowns of every little variation of the comic book that was actually saw print. So it's not just generically what was in that comic book. It was that comic book was printed with this cover, and then there's variations of that book with for direct market and for newsstand, and it is as thorough a research deep dive into the ephemera of collecting G.I. Joe comic books that you're ever going to find, and I genuinely mean that. They then made their move over to the Command Files, which is a look at the Joes as a team if they existed today in today's military hierarchical structure. How would they be spread out on various Alpha Bravo teams, snow experts, desert experts? You've got 6 medics in the whole toy line. Where would they be spread out amongst these teams? And Volume 1 hit like 2 years ago.
Yes.
And it was great. It was a real revelation. It was the kind of a book you didn't know you really needed. And it really put these guys together in groupings that make logical sense, but just no one's ever done that before. So this is Volume 2, right. Josh. Kickstarted already. And if you kickstarted it, I have in my hand the official first print off the draft production copy.
It looks here in person.
It looks awesome. Josh, talk about Volume 2.
So technically, the title is After Action Report Command Files Volume 2 Support Elements. So that is the Volume 1 was A Team, so Snake Eye, Scarlet, Stalker, most of the original Joes, and whatever. And so now this is the Support Elements book, which completes the entire G.I. Joe team. So the Command Files is intended to be 3 books, 2 G.I. Joe, because there's a lot of G.I. Joe characters, and then a whole Cobra book, which, obviously the Vipers are cool, but like they don't have personalities and all that information. So the Command Files Volume 3 will be probably 2027. But this one was the Kickstarter was finished in at the beginning of August. The books are on a boat, which means that they will be here by the end of this is airing in October. So they should be arriving around the time that you hear this. They don't give you exact dates of the books on the boat, but once the books arrive and land in the port of Los Angeles, and we are in Los Angeles, so they don't have to travel very far from once they get to the port.
Because if they gave you I'm just going to say, if they did give you an exact date, I feel like the temptation to hijack that boat would be too high.
We have the USS Flag protecting it.
It would be too much. So we got to keep that a secret.
We got Cutter and Shipwreck making sure inside the container not getting seasick.
Yes. And inside the container is Wetsuit.
Yes.
And so when the door busts open, he's standing there with his harpoon.
Exactly. Nobody can take these books. No tariffs. No terrorists, nothing. Protected by G.I. Joe.
Speaking of tariffs, did you run into any problems with the tariffs?
So our print company, very luckily, is called Print Ninja. They're a big, well-established company, and they sent us an email as soon as all that that story broke. I guess that was in the early part of 2025, January, February. They sent an email saying that as a previous customer, we would like to offer you the option of putting down a small deposit, which will secure your rate. No matter what happens with the tariffs, we will guarantee you that rate. So I did that. So before the tariffs were impacting the publishing industry, I had my rate secured, and this was like 6-7 months before we even did the Kickstarter.
Right.
And again, it was like repeat customer, or like you know, it wasn't
good
like,
customer service.
Yeah. So they secured that for me, and then of course, by the time we actually sent the book to the final print, which was the beginning of August, like the book was done, and you know, like here, go print. The tariffs thing had all sorted itself out, and I guess the publishing industry mostly became exempt from that. So
it's great.
It didn't matter in the end, but it was a pretty cool option that they gave us.
Yeah.
So that was a nice thing that, you know, using.
Well, you dodged the clutches of Cobra. I appreciate that for sure. Now this book is it's got a great cover. Who's the cover artist on this again?
That's Mark Pennington.
Right.
And our cover is actually a wraparound cover that connects to number 1. So number 1 and number 2 connect, and then number 3 will connect also. So they're designed as basically three one, I guess, landscape with all the Joes. So it's the Joes that are in that book or in this one, the Cobras ones. And so in terms of the actual characters in Command Files 2, it's a lot of the support element players, like the pilots and the artillery people.
I mean, you've got Mace.
Yes, you got Mace, like the pit staff and the Air Force people like Payload and them. And
Billy, I just saw Billy's page.
Yeah. So, and then at the back of the book, towards the back, we focus on La Rashikage, which includes Ninja Force, and then we have several pages that we just call them affiliates. So it's all kinds of the people. Like,
there's a lot of hangers on.
Yeah, and it goes from includes like some of the Sergeant Savage characters, just small references.
Oh, awesome!
As well as like cartoon characters and kind of the whole gambit of a lot of the people that obviously like.
Do you mention Cool Breeze?
Yeah, he has his own
Cool
page.
Breeze is in there?
Yeah.
Amazing.
Look it up. I don't know what page he's on, but
amazing.
He's
Cool Breeze is in there. What about...
of course, he died.
I know, but he's, he gives you to respect Cool Breeze.
Yes.
What about, and I forget, we made a joke of it for so long, I forget what his name, the kid that died on the freighter on Cobra Island that was hanging out with Zartan. Tyrone. Is Tyrone in your book?
Honestly, I don't know. I'm going to have to look.
Once again, Tyrone evades justice.
Does Tyrone make it into the affiliate section? I'm scrolling through the book right now. Let's see. Let me look in the T section.
Is it too late to get Tyrone? Tyrone, the skateboarding fool.
Yeah,
who died in service of nobody.
He's not in the affiliate section. He could be in the...
I mean, he technically, canonically, let's be real, he had more appearances than Cool Breeze.
Yes.
Well, let's hope that one day we finally get justice for Tyrone.
Right.
Did you include any of the extreme characters?
No, they are mentioned in the affiliates section.
Okay, they are. Oh, that's cool.
So we call them allies and affiliates. So like... no, I don't see Tyrone.
Okay, well,
so
one
some
more,
of those characters,
more diss in the Tyrone column.
In the
another year
T section, we go Tiger, TNT, Topside, and then Honda Lou West from the cartoons.
Another year goes by where Tyrone's death goes unavenged and unrespected. Thank you for not ruining the streak, Josh. We appreciate it. You've also great. It's also comes with great. It's got a great wraparound. It's got a great wraparound sleeve. Does this sleeve come with every Kickstarter?
Yes. This is Dust Jacket. Was a stretch goal, and it's the same artwork and the same Dust Jacket design that was created for Command Files Volume 1, but that was an add-on. So this one is now stretch goal. So every book will come with it.
Oh, that's great. And you always with all your Kickstarters, you always include a lot of additional prints and images and stuff. So this is no different.
So the Dust Jacket, before we move on to the prints, is created by Jamie Sullivan. So if you're
friend of the show, amazing talent,
Southern California person, you've probably seen him. It's, like I said, it's the same Dust Jacket that he did there, but this time it's unadorned, so it doesn't have any logos on the front. Like the front one, so that's how you can tell the difference. And he congratulations on his surgery.
Had his surgery. I saw him the other day.
Yeah.
I was at Los Angeles Comic Con.
He
saw
seems
him.
to have survived well and is doing good. And we're talking to him about other projects for After Action Report in the future.
By this, I think it should still be available. He did they just announced that he did a cover that's an homage to the Frank Miller Wolverine cover.
Yes.
That it's Snake Eyes with
Clutch,
a bunch of vipers.
right?
Yeah, with Big Clutch. And it's when Wolverine is like getting ganged up on by all the ninjas.
Right.
And it's one of the classic ones from the first miniseries. I know they used it for the first trade they did of Wolverine. I don't think it was one of the covers. I think it was artwork made for the trade.
Right.
But he did an homage to it with Snake Eyes in that role, and it is amazing.
He did it a long time ago.
He did do it a long time ago.
There's like a backstory to it.
There is a backstory to it, and if you catch him at a con, he will tell you. It is not my place to tell, but it is an amazing piece of artwork. Yes. I really, really love it. So that's available over at Big Clutch. So Google up Big Clutch and G.I. Joe covers. You'll see it. You'll know exactly what we're talking about. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
I think it's releasing in like March or something of 26. So you got some time. And once now we're talking about pre-orders. Once it comes out, it'll be available, I'm sure. So that's really exciting. So this book is shipping now. If you've backed the Kickstarter, it's on the way. If you're hearing this and you're like, oh, I didn't back the Kickstarter, do they go through the Kickstarter to buy it, or do they go to your website?
Once we get them in hand and mail out to the Kickstarter backers, it will then go on sale on our website, which is afteractionreport.net. And that's the only place. Usually we put them on eBay later, but at first it's just our website. Yeah. And of course, if you're at conventions, we will be at Assembly Required, Codename Iowa, at the middle of November. I think it's the 13th, 14th, and 15th.
Well, guess what? I'll be there too.
You'll be there! Yo, Joe! Is that your first time, right?
It is my first time at that show. It's my first time going to any real like Joe-centric show outside of like SoCal Joe show, locally. And I'm so excited.
SoCal Joe Show is really cool, but it's short and it doesn't have like the get together aspect.
There's like a dinner involved.
Yes.
There's like hanging out. Like that's the part of it that I'm gonna say this. I've never done that at a con. So this is all. I've been going to cons since I was 12 years old. Wow. This is all going to be new to me. Hey, listeners, quick interjection here. We recorded this about 2 weeks ago, and after we recorded it, a bunch of scheduling things happened on Josh's end that is forcing them to change some of their dates. So this is just going to be a caveat. I'm going to leave the whole episode like unedited as far as dates go. I'm not going to jump in and correct it every time. But if you're listening at it, these are the updates. So first, we were talking about having the Command Files 2 books at Codename Iowa. That has been delayed by that big typhoon that hit a couple weeks ago. So they're not going to have them with them. You will, Josh said you will be able to buy them. He's going to figure out a way, but they won't have them at the show. They are expected to be landing right after the show, though, and they're going to be shipping them out after Thanksgiving for all you backers out there. The second update, that as we get further into this, there is their new Kickstarter, which I won't say what it is, but you'll see it's the T in the A book. That will not be launching on 11/6. It's actually going to be launching on 11/4, November the 4th, which is Election Day. So, in Josh's words, as you go out there to vote and support your country, you should go online and vote and support the After Action specialty book. I'll save what it exactly is for spoilers later in today's episode, so I don't want to ruin that for you. And he also wanted to give a big shout out that they've added our friend of the show, G.I. Gary Viola, as an editor from the Chaplain Assistant Motor Pod, which is a podcast you all should be listening to. He's helping them edit the upcoming book Kickstarter. So, Gary, can't wait to see your work on that. And now back to the show.
This is what Brian Sauer and Travis have done so well with their convention, is that they've made it so friendly for us fans to attend. Yes, there's the convention aspect and the table aspect and the selling and all that kind of stuff. But I mean, like Saturday morning, it's cartoons and cereal. You know what I mean? And like they have each evening they have all these events that all of us fans get together. And it's Iowa, it's November. for us Southern California people, it's like cold. The East Coast people are like, it's not cold. And it's like, so, but the social aspect of Assembly Required is really, really awesome.
I'm looking forward to it.
And Joe Fest has that a little bit. And the Dallas one has that a little bit too. But those shows are so much bigger that they don't, in terms of like the floor size and all the tables and everything like that, and that they don't really have the ability to be as specific as Assembly Required.
Okay.
And of course, Des Moines is a pretty cool little town. Like you can walk to all these things. You know what I mean? Like when and there's a lot of stuff to walk to. I mean, I think every year I've been there, we end up at this arcade and we're all playing these video games. There is a G.I. Joe video game there, and we do
in the arcade.
Yes, in the arcade.
We'll be playing it
the old one.
Yeah. Is it the top-down one where they're running up the screen?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That game's great. Yeah.
So we always win that one.
Of course.
We take it over with that one.
That one, you never really care how many quarters you spend.
Right.
You just want to get to the end.
Exactly.
You want to get to the end game for a game like that.
And it's right next to the X-Men with 6.
I love that game's an all-timer.
So,
that
usually we kind of take over that, and then there's this other game that I can't remember the name of it. That a lot of plays like 8 people can play, and I don't remember the name, but I haven't played it that much. But everybody else gets it, and he's like, whatever. So
you had me at G.I. Joe, Josh.
It's very social.
They have the G.I. Joe arcade. I like that.
That's the thing.
I appreciate that.
So,
I'm excited. I can't wait to do it.
When we're there, I'll make sure to let you play a video game.
Oh, yeah, because I don't get enough video games in my life. So I'll tell you what I was looking for. I was when I was at LA Con, I never see these in the wild. No one ever brings the G.I. Joe NES game for sale at those shows. I think because they're sought after. Like you sell them. I have them both, but when I was there, I was like, you know what? I wouldn't mind getting like a nice boxed one. Like a nice copy of one. So maybe that might be on my little wish list too. Because I have the games, and they still work and they're fun and all that stuff. But I have an NES that works. But like for the collector in me is like, I kind of want to get a box one for the Atlantis Factor and then the original one. So maybe that'll be. I did then start checking out eBay, and they're gettable. They're out there. They're out there. But they don't bring them. They tend not to bring them to the Comic Cons. And Josh, we should say you brought your beautiful dogs with you.
Yes.
So and Mary Jane is enjoying their company as well. So there may be some dog badinage that happens this. You're hanging out with Willow. That's Willow.
Yes, Willow.
And your other dog is George.
George. Yes.
George. They're beautiful labs.
They're a mix, actually, a Doberman and Labrador. Their moms and dads. Their dad was a Labrador, and their mom was a Doberman.
Well, you said those are their real names, but your nicknames are
Junkyard V1 and Junkyard V2.
Yes,
because that's what they look like. They got the little brown dots like a pit bull. That's what Willow is, and then George is solid black. So
yeah, and George looks like the toy, and Willow looks like the cartoon version of Junkyard with the little brown. Yes. So. It couldn't be more fitting. They're absolutely great. So if you hear them bouncing around, that's what's up.
And they have become my companions. You know what I mean? It's kind of how dogs come. They just showed up in my life, and I was like,
I'll tell you, Mary Jane's chill. She's so cool. I can see her in the other room watching it. Like there are these 2 giant monsters who have just invaded my house because they're like 3 times the size of her.
Right.
They're like
technically a medium-sized dog. But
well, they are. Yeah, but she's tiny.
Yeah, she's tiny. But
no, they're great.
They have their moments, definitely.
So, command files, get out there, get it.
Right.
Get caught up on their entire oeuvre. And now we're talking your next Kickstarter. This is the big announcement. This is the big reveal. This is the big
dun, dun,
dun, dun, dun. And what are they going to do to follow up?
Can you insert some G.I. Joe music?
Maybe. G.I. Joe was there. There you go. Hey, man, this ain't What's on Joe Mind. I ain't got a soundboard. Oh, wait, hold on. Actually, I do. Wait, no, I don't. No, it's not on yet.
Maybe.
So, what your next project is?
All right, so... this is the fun part of introducing this book. It's the After Action Report G.I. Joe T&A book. Okay, all you dirty mind people, stop it.
This is a family-friendly show.
It's G.I. Joe Trivia and Activity book.
Bum, 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 bum.
Bum, 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 bum. So what this is, the short elevator pitch is, it is a fun resource of trivia questions based on the real American hero comic stories, going from 1 to right now it's 321, I think. But by the time this book would be 324, including The Devil's Due Disavowed. So all those. So any other continuity is not in this book. And the big pitch is...
So not IDW.
Well, IDW...
What other continuity...
IDW did. They did 155.5 to 300.
Oh, right. But not the IDW verse.
Right. Not the IDW
Got
verse.
it. Okay.
No other ones are in it. So,
just the Hamaverse.
Right. Hamaverse. Yes. I always forget that people refer to it as that. The Hamaverse. Which The Devil's Due is... Mm-hmm. Right, very much so, and so this includes all the sub-series, Storm Shadow, special missions, all the silent option. So, and here's the elevator pitch. So this is a fun resource for the G.I. Joe comic stories of Larry Hama, real American hero. The idea at this point now is to do at least 3 questions, if not more, per issue.
Okay.
So we're talking almost 400 issues when you add in Devil's Due and all these other stuff.
Yeah.
So, dun, 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 we're talking 1,000 questions.
That's a lot of questions.
There's a lot of questions. And honestly, it was a blast to do. I just basically pulled out the Skybound compendiums or my trade paperbacks and was like going through them and looking at the Yojo summaries that me and Ted Jacobson and other people had created on Yojo, and I was looking at that and then looking at the book, and I was like, okay, here's this, and just making questions, and it was so fun. It was so fun because it's like, this is my passion. I mean, I wrote books on it, but and this is the difference between the G.I. Joe T&A book and our comic guide books.
By the way, what you really mean is it's just a buddy comedy starring Thunder and Ace.
Exactly.
Let's get your mind out of the gutter, everybody.
Exactly.
Turns out Thunder and Ace
just
go on a road trip and have wacky adventures.
Right. Hence the Smoking the Bandit jokes at the beginning.
Yeah.
But so the idea is that the phrase I use is a fun resource. So not only is it questions, right? So you can challenge yourself. There are easy questions and there are hard questions. But because in our previous comic guides, it was more focused on the physical comic.
Yeah.
The cover, the credits, things like that. We included story stuff. And in Volume 3, we did a short summary. Ted Jacobson wrote a short summary for all of the IDW. So 155.5 to 300. And of course, we don't even have a book. Skybound is too new. So I was trying to figure out how to kind of do, because my history with G.I. Joe is that in like 2004, a guy named Phil Cost, who ran a website called Joe Reloaded, asked me to do some summaries on that old Devil's Due series that ran for about 13 called G.I. Joe Reloaded. Yeah. So he asked me to do some summaries, and I was like, okay. Again, this is 2004.
Right.
So, I mean, like, well before, I had just gotten back into it, just like most of us and everything. So, and then I ended up connecting with yojo.com and became the senior editor for the comic section and was writing and organizing and building all of the comic section from the Devil's Due stuff. A lot of the Marvel stuff is there, but I updated that. And then, of course, I continued all the way until we finished in 2018, I think, or 2017, when we were no longer able to. So that's my history of writing that stuff and writing these summaries and talking about these stories and everything like that. And then, of course, in 2020, Roger Taft came to me and was like, hey, I got an idea. Let's make some comic guide books. So then we made those. So that's the process of where I've been. And the idea of this book is first to be fun. It's trivia questions, test yourself, but then also to learn about the stories. Right? Like what's happening in issue 113 or 245 or so, like, you and the way the book is going to be organized is there will be sections per publisher, and then the question number will actually be the issue number, and then it'll have like A, B, C, D. So it'd be like 113 A, B, C, D.
Got it. Yeah,
right.
Sure.
Then 114. So the question number is actually the issue number, and of course.
So here's the question that I have for you.
Yes.
When you're coming up with these trivia questions, because trivia can be very it's hit or miss is what I would say. Sometimes it's good, solid information that someone who's an expert should know. And then sometimes it's, what color was Grunt's sock in issue 2? You know what I mean? So have you put any thought to that into those, like the ABC questions? Are they categorized in any way, like Trivial Pursuit? Like Trivial Pursuit would have sports and entertainment and science and all that stuff. Do you have any breakdowns in that regard, or are they just 3 things that you found interesting about that book?
So first of all, there's no true false and there's no multiple choice.
Okay,
they're all answers.
Half of you are wrong right now.
Right. So the intention is to be challenging and informative. So if you don't know the comic, you're not going to necessarily know that the question is. So like, let's say there's a question about like Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow.
Well, I've got some questions in front of me.
In Vietnam.
I've got some questions in front of me.
Nice.
Do you mind if we just randomly read a few?
Sure. But,
yeah, I mean,
just before we start doing this, so the idea is that you have like a basic question. I tried to put a question that was on the cover because most of the covers are related to the story. So something that was on the cover.
Oh man, that's something that
then
comic books miss that.
And then another really random one. And then of course, like, there's all these other characters in the comics that kind of show up that like are like nobody can even remember. Like I can't even remember. I'm like, who's Chip Goodfellow?
What? I have no idea.
Yeah.
Well, okay,
so,
but
I'm
yeah. No, I like that, but it's and I will
like,
say this also by keeping it within like breaking it out by issue, like saying like that Chip Goodfellow question. I don't know what issue it is, but let's say that's issue 15, right? Then a fan could then go, oh, okay, what was going on back then? Maybe I can figure it out. For example.
Okay.
Like you've got like.
So he's actually reading.
Yeah. So this is going to be an actual answer from the book or question from the book, right? So you've got it broken down. Like in the first issue, this is easy. Talks about hot potato. What love at first karate throw? What romantic relationship is established by a karate throw? You know what I mean? Like that kind of a question. It's a good answer. I think we all know the answer to that.
Yeah.
It's Clutch and Steeler.
Not in Hot Potato.
You're not disputing that those two are in love. You're just saying that it doesn't happen in Hot Potato.
It's Snake Eyes and Scarlet, and it's kind of a fun joke on that one regarding like the hint is karate because they both.
Oh, Josh, we get it. Okay. Yeah.
Well, there might be a few people who don't get it. So
here's one.
Like
in issue 5. What is Breaker's signature trait? Don't blow this one. Now we know he the answer is
blow bubbles.
Blowing bubbles, right?
Gum bubbles,
right? And we know that he's shown blowing bubbles in the other one. But the reason this is a great question for issue 5 is because what does he do with it? Right.
Just like in the microphone I'm talking to.
Yeah, he uses the bubbles to simulate cannon fire in issue 5. That's a great question that has context to the story. I love it.
So those are both great examples. And other questions like for issue 1 was like the very first question is like, what characters appear. Right. So like whenever
who are the Joes on that panel?
Whenever there's a new
bonus
appearance,
points for the extra one.
Right. And then of course, you get all these things. So the questions are story related and then kind of appearance related, but there's no actual question of like, what did Larry Hama say or what is Larry Hama's context.
It's stuff that you would know
Marvel
it's stuff that you would know within context of reading the comic book.
Right.
You also mentioned to me earlier that on those pages you're also going to have some other your like commentary on the page or something like that. Explain what that's going to look like.
So the intention of the book is, like I said, I'm calling it a fun resource. Test your knowledge on trivia. Right.
This is a not fun resource. This is a work resource.
It's work, but it's also like, what the hell happens in this particular issue? I can't remember. So you would scroll to the you would look to go to issue 113 and be like, what's going on in that issue? And then you would get a few story points or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, like one of my favorite questions that I wrote was in the Ninja Force era, like what color is Scarlet's uniform as a Ninja Force? I don't remember exactly how I phrased it, but it's green and yellow, right? I mean, so it's those kind of things, and like when people got new uniforms or they die, or like all those kind of things, like those are the big questions that are the stories.
And the other great thing I will say about setting it going issue by issue with you identifying the questions is that so many answers when it comes to comic book trivia depends on where you're at. Right. Ask anyone questions about like DC continuity, right? And it all matters on, is it pre-crisis? Is it post-crisis? Is it post-Zero Hour? Is it post-Final Crisis? Is it New 52? Is it, you know what I'm saying? So while G.I. Joe doesn't have that kind of universe resetting stuff, there are some things that definitely are time specific, moment specific. So it helps to frame it around the issue that it's happening in. Right. So that's good. That's good to hear that you're doing that.
Obviously the Marvel time frame was establishing. The IDW was more just like continuing story, and he kind of repeats himself a lot of brainwave scanner thing, the Blue Ninja stuff, and it just kind of. There's a little bit, and now we're in the Skybound era, and the Skybound issues will be in the book, and that kind of is still,
you're gonna include Skybound stuff.
Yes,
great.
Questions about each issue. So
when is the Kickstarter planning on starting?
So the Kickstarter will start on November 6th. So
awesome.
Mark that on your calendars.
November 6th, the weekend before Codename Iowa.
Yes, that's the whole point.
November 6th. The next day after this Kickstarter starts, I will be on a plane to Chicago. So nice. I will back the Kickstarter and then immediately get on a plane is what I'm going to do. Excellent. Just like you listeners should do, except the plane part. Unless you want to travel somewhere on a plane, I'm not going to tell you not to.
Right. And
you do you, but back it on the 6th.
As is tradition, we're at a G.I. Joe convention when we're having a Kickstarter, and we will have stuff for free if you're a backer already, or if you sign up at Assembly Required, we'll have free stuff for you. That's like a tradition of ours.
True story. I was in the 8th grade, and we needed to do a project about a book, and I believe mine was Mark Twain, and I was so in love with the G.I. Joe Battle board game, the big one. The giant one with the chess piece, like it was like a chessboard.
I kind of remember that. I didn't have that.
Yeah. Where you had the each base had 3 little buildings, and you capture. You guys know the one, not Order of Battle Place, but you guys know the one I'm talking about.
I know.
There's only like 3. Yeah, it's the big one. I was so in love with that game. I used that game as the template for a Huck Finn, Tom Sawyer related trivia game.
Wow.
Because I wanted to incorporate G.I. Joe.
Right.
So I brought that game to school, but there were Post-it notes with all the Mark Twain trivia, talking about trivia, all over the board.
Oh.
So we got to play the G.I. Joe board game in school.
Nice.
Disguised as Mark Twain trivia.
Hey, Larry Hama has done a lot of that, throwing in all kinds of stuff throughout history. Like how did pizza discovered? A lot of G.I. Joe fans are like,
we know.
Serpentor told a story about it.
I
don't remember the story, but he did
for sure.
Dinner,
And G.I. Joe has a rich history of activity books. Like I know you covered a lot of these in your in the first set of books.
The Volume 1 guidebook we covered. We just had a page where all the different coloring books
and
appeared.
there was a lot. Like every time I do a Google search, you see, I always see one. Oh, I don't have that one yet because they were licensed out.
I've gotten them all, but you never know.
Yeah.
You know what
and
I
there
mean?
were a lot more coloring books in the later day where it was a little. I think coloring books may be a little easier. You just slap together some images and throw a story. But like in the early days, these are actually activity books, and I've got a few in my hands here. I've got the kind of a purple covered one that sort of looks like the cover of G.I. Joe #1, but it's not really. Right. It's a Mobat coming at you.
It's called Coloring and Activity Book.
And then I've got one here too with Grunt kind of coming out of an explosion with the floating heads of Rock and Roll and Scarlet and Snake Eyes. And that looks like Rock and Roll cut and pasted from the Hot Potato Story.
Yeah.
Am I right?
Yeah. Scarlet and Snake Eyes too.
Yeah. And probably... That's not Hawk. That's maybe Surefuse?
Maybe, yeah.
That doesn't look like the way they
Doesn't
used
look
to
like
draw
Hawk.
Yeah.
I mean, Hawk, I think at that time usually had a helmet on,
Yeah.
didn't he? I don't think he was.
So there's that book, and then I've also got a yellow one, coloring and activity book. This one's great. I like this cover the most. They're in action.
Yep.
Yellow backdrop. Snake Eyes is on there. They're hanging out by a vamp. It's funny that whoever that is in the corner,
It's
maybe
gotta
it's
be Grunt.
Yeah,
Right?
he's got a grenade. The pin has clearly been pulled.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
You see
I
that?
don't think I
Clearly
ever
been
noticed
pulled, and he's facing the Joes.
Yeah. He's like, get out of the way.
Like,
Get out of the way. We got to throw this.
I feel like maybe you're looking the wrong way.
Right.
With the pulled grenade.
Right. I'm pretty positive that those were all Hasbro produced, right?
Yeah, they were.
Pretty much just
1982 Hasbro Industries.
just for basically the promotion aspect.
Sure.
Because I mean, as we all know, the comic book was a promotion for the toy, which I have to throw this in there. The TNA book does not have anything with toys.
Right.
Right. It's all comics.
And this is actually published by Modern Promotions / Publishers out of New York. So they were.
So that was probably the printing company.
Yeah,
or in
exactly.
charge
Hasbro put it together
Yeah.
and sent it off to
Like-
someone who knew what they were doing. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's got the old school like it's not newsprint per se, but like coloring paper. It's got a
Right.
little grit to it. And this first one is neat because it really functions as a series of file cards. It's really a get to know who these Joes are.
Right.
This is the one with the cover that the Mobat busting out. So there's not a lot of like story in it. The yellow one has a full on story.
Yeah, it does.
That's actually telling an adventure of the Joe team.
I remember when we were putting them in the comic guide, and I was like, man, I don't know if I can have room for these stories.
Yeah.
But they do, and there's, I mean, like, the whole point of it is to show off the toys and
Right.
But again, it's in service of the characters.
Totally.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
And
this
more
is
so,
the beauty of G.I. Joe.
The drawings of these in this one, this very first one we're looking at, they are very toy accurate. Like that doesn't look like a soldier standing there. That looks like an action figure posed in front of the MMS.
Yeah. Honestly, it might be like a recreation from the pictures. You know what I mean? Like they took the photos of the toys and then they
maybe just traced over it.
You know, and then like that, like you're on
like
the page.
Here we go. This was a pinup. That was a Herb Trimpe pinup from the comic book. We get a little as you go later in it. There's it's Breaker blowing bubbles. Trivia answer.
Yeah.
Scarlet. I feel like I've seen that one in.
Well,
one of
I
the
think
books
her
too or
head is
something.
there, but of course they turn it into an activity.
Right,
So it's like she's got a crystal ball shield.
This is absolutely from the comics. It's
straight from
Scarlet shooting the bow, shooting the apple off of Clutch's head. Look at this Mobat tank. That is 100% an action figure with his way his arms are crossed.
Yeah, I'm sure that's definitely from the
Yeah.
the image that Hector Garrido would have created for the cover of the box, probably.
Or like they took an actual photo and just traced over it.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be
maybe.
surprised if it's a trace over a photo because I feel like Garrido was trying to do more like
right,
like real. This is not real at all.
No.
That's a pin-up from the comic.
That's comic.
Yep.
We're looking at Flash peeling potatoes.
And Stalker flying with the
jump.
jetpack over the skies. These are all from the first issue of the comic book.
So
there's Cobra Island where the doctor was held.
Dr. Burkhart.
Yeah, Dr. Burkhart. Here's the cutaway of the pit from the first issue.
Oh yeah, look at that.
So this is a nice reuse of their assets, converting it to their coloring books. As they do most coloring books, they thicken the lines a lot.
Right.
To make it, they remove a lot of the small hatching from existing photos, and they make it a little easier for you to see like where you would fill in the blanks.
Right.
But Josh, there's some it's not necessarily a trivia question. We're going to turn it into a trivia question in here.
Oh.
It's a match game. So I'm going to see.
Well,
what? Yeah.
Speaking of games, the A part of the TNA is activity. So we are actually including some activities in the book.
What's that? What activities are going to be in there?
We can do this match game. The main one will be word finds.
Great.
So,
word finds are awesome.
And they will be thematic to the publishing era. So there'll be like Marvel ones. IDW ones, Skybound and Devil's Due. So the word finds will be connected to those. We're going to do a couple crossword puzzles, and then we might do some word scrambles.
Oh, that's great.
So those will be in there too.
Awesome.
They're to kind of break up the
That's,
book a little bit.
Yeah.
So,
and for the listener, what's the size format of the book? You said it was a little smaller.
So our previous books were 8 by 11 and full color. This one is 6 by 9. It's going to be about between 275 pages and 300 pages. So yes, it's a lot more pages, but it's also just a lot of questions. And it will be mostly black and white. The cover will be colored, but the book will be black and white. So it'll be cheaper. Our previous books were $35. This one's going to be $20.
That's great.
And the intention, even though it's a lot more pages, the intention is that it's something a little more friendly, just to have around and to use and
to bring to your G.I. Joe weekends and shoot the crap with your friends.
Well, one of the other aspects is that in the introduction, we're putting together a point system for a game. So you can do it for the whole book, but we're going to have 3 sections. One's called Private Easy, Sergeant Medium, and General Hard. So it'd be
I served under General Hard.
Yeah, exactly.
He was very difficult to work under.
That medium, Sergeant Medium.
Yeah. Sergeant Medium though, he was kind of a cake, and Sergeant Easy, he got booted.
Yeah. So there'll be a section at the beginning of the book that will have those, and then the idea is easy, medium, hard questions, of course, is the joke. And so you go through those, and then you answer them as a quiz, and you play that game and see how many you get right. I said you can do it for the whole book if you want, but it's 1,000 questions. But so it'd be kind of fun like that activity.
Awesome.
But so let's play the game.
So we got a puzzle here. I got a puzzle here for you.
So this is the actual coloring activity
this is a
book
real
created
test.
in 1982.
It's a real test to match to see if you've been paying attention. So your job, Josh, is to match the G.I. Joe heroes with their correct code names and specialties. So I'm gonna pull a little. I'm gonna flip it. I'm going to give you their file names.
Okay.
And you're going to tell me what their code name is. So I'm going to give you I'm not going to ask you to come up with the full ethnic Italian name, But I'll give you the name. You tell me who they are. Okay. And then if you know they're exact what the code name is. So we'll start with Rafael J. Melendez.
That would be Zap.
That's correct. And what is Zap's technical specialty?
Well, I know he's a bazooka trooper.
Correct. Ding, 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 ding. Well, it's 1 point for you under General Hard.
That's 2 questions.
Well, I mean, it's grouped together.
I want 2 points.
You want 2? Okay, 2 points. Craig McConnell.
That's easy. That's Roadblock. No! Rock and roll. Rock and roll.
Well, it is rock and roll. I will give that to you. Rock and roll, Roadblock. They both drive machine
Marvin
guns.
Hinton is.
We also know it's not. Roadblock was just a glint.
I'm all
glint
bragging
in his mama's eye.
I'm bragging, going. It's easy.
And what was it?
Machine gun.
Correct. That's 4.
3.5.
Eric. Yeah, 3.5. Okay. Eric W. Frystad.
That's Short Fuse.
Yeah.
Mortar Trooper.
You got it. Anthony S. Gambello, an absolute favorite of this show.
Flash.
You got that right.
Laser Trooper.
Laser Rifle Trooper.
Laser Rifle Trooper. Okay, yeah.
Robert W. Graves.
Grunt.
Yes, and
he's just soldier or infantry.
Correct, infantry. Yes. And finally,
I think it's technically infantry soldier.
Infantry trooper.
Trooper.
They use trooper on 2 of these, soldier on 2 of them, and then the other one. Yeah, so it all counts.
Close.
It all counts.
That's another half.
And now I'm going to flip it this time because you should know this one. This is one that all of us should know.
Okay.
What is Stalker's full file name? And you don't have to have the middle name, but what's the Stalker's name?
Lorenzo Wilkinson.
Close. Lonzo. It's
Lonzo.
That might be short for Lorenzo. I mean, let's be real, but it is Lonzo.
Yeah. It ends in an O. Lonzo.
And of course, what's his specialty?
Well, he was. What is he? I don't honestly. What he was Ranger. Ranger.
Yes, there you go. That's it.
Ranger.
Yep.
I'm all picturing the file card, Greg. Thank you.
No. It's great. No, you did it. You really did it. Yeah, and that's great. What I loved about him being the Ranger is, along with Snake Eyes being the Commando, and like they were like the first specialty. Right. Although Scarlet was counterintelligence too. Right. Like you know what I mean? Like they were unique.
Yeah.
Where it was the other guys were, hey, carry a machine gun, fire a mortar. You're like, nah, man, that dude's a Ranger.
Right.
You know, she's counterintelligence, even though that's technically not a thing.
Right.
I mean, it is, but it isn't. You know, would Commando's not really a thing either, right? I mean, it is, but it's not like you.
Yeah.
There are Rangers. There are U.S. Rangers.
Right.
There aren't U.S. Commandos.
Right.
Correct.
I
don't think there are.
I don't think
hey,
so.
you wrote the book on it, buddy.
Well, I know.
No,
well,
no, no.
I
edited
edited
the
command
correct.
files.
No, I'm pretty sure that's correct. Yeah.
But yeah. I mean, I think in World War II they actually did have real commandos who were out there fighting the Germans from the British Isles. They were called commandos.
You're absolutely right.
I don't know if that has
wasn't even
transferred
thinking that
into
far
the
back,
80s by that time.
Yeah.
If that had been phased out, certainly probably not valid now.
Yeah.
But
I always thought that was great about that set Stalker apart in that regard. It added
Sergeant Fury and the Howling Commandos.
You're right.
You know.
Well, yeah. So, but like as a nickname for soldiers,
right?
You know, but not it's like a regiment. Like you can join the Rangers. You can't join the Commandos.
Right. But you are a commando.
You are a commando, correct?
Right.
So like Stalker was a Ranger,
right?
And so you were like, you know, like they didn't when they did the Navy SEAL, you know, oh, he's a SEAL, and he's on this team.
Right.
Stalker being a Ranger always elevated him in my brain of like, oh, he's got this one up on these guys, because he's a member of this elite part of a part of the military.
And Hammond would have known that. I mean,
for sure.
So he would have been like, okay, I'm going to make Stalker a Ranger, which makes him like, I think he's mostly a sergeant most of his time.
Yeah.
So he's like in charge of the Joe team, you know, for the entire time, pretty much. Still, even though he's only a sergeant, you know, there's a lot of people outrank him, but nobody out leads him.
This is the kind of kind of detail, and I mean this hierarchical talk that you guys get into in the command files.
Yes.
So this
Greg
Augustin killed it on these books.
Yeah.
I can't wait to get my own copy of Volume 2.
Yeah.
And listeners, one of the things Josh showed up in my house with are some books that he's leaving with me. So you hear this. You get excited. You got a couple of weeks. Kickstarter's going to start. When that Kickstarter starts, during that Kickstarter month, I'll do some giveaways.
Cool.
So come on back. I don't have any details yet what we're going to do. But come on back to this show during the month of November, to celebrate this After Action Report Kickstarter. And we're going to do some more giveaways. We did a bunch last time in like about 6 months ago. I think we gave away like 19 books or something. Like it was great. We had a great turnout.
A bunch.
Yeah. So we're going to do a similar thing. I don't exactly know how we're going to execute it, but it's going to be fun. So I want to get more of these books in more people's hands. They're really great.
You can have them answer a question.
I'm sure it'll be trivia related.
Yeah.
I'm sure it will be trivia related. Or because, frankly, you know, no one's going to come after me for like violating contests. Maybe it'll be show me proof that you backed the Kickstarter.
Oh.
And you'll win it.
Right.
Maybe that's how we'll do it. Somehow eligible. I don't know.
Yeah.
But listeners, if you're hearing this, get your ears on there, Smokey. And listen up for a contest that's heading your way in just a couple weeks.
We're eastbound and down because we're on the West Coast.
That's right. remember when you're westbound and down, your 18 wheels are rolling. Right. When you're eastbound and down, you're loaded up in trucking. Those are two important distinctions to make.
Yes, they are.
Important distinctions to make. So, Josh, thank you so much for coming back on the Joe and Joe.
I do have one other thing I would like to point out.
Sure.
Before we end. So for the Kickstarter, we know After Action Report has a lot of fans. We have a lot of knowledge about G.I. Joe. And one of the things we're going to do is we're going to have a reward. There will be a limit to them, maybe 10 or 12, however many, where you guys can help contribute to us questions. So the book is going to be $20, and with shipping it'd be another 15, so 35. So we're probably going to do a reward of $50, and you will be able to actually contribute questions to the book. So they're going to fall into that easy, medium, hard, private, sergeant, general section. The questions can't be about the stories because we covered that, but they can be about anything else. Creators, Larry Hama, publishers, maybe even a few toy questions.
Let me throw this out. We haven't talked about this before. I just had this idea now because you said really the questions in the book are not about the toys.
No.
Why don't you make it the user-generated questions are all about the toys?
Because maybe we're going to do a sequel book.
Oh, boy. You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen.
Maybe?
You heard it here first. Well, okay.
Because we could do a whole couple series of trivia books on the toys.
All right.
Or the characters, or both. But the intention with these questions is that you supporters can get your question in the book. Now, you'll be credited in the book as contributing, but your question will not actually have your name connected to it. It'll just be part of the overall questions of the book.
So that means when you're reading the questions with your friends, they don't have to know that you wrote that question, and you'll know the obscure answer to it. They'll be like, "How did you know the name of Tyrone's mom?" And you're like, "I don't know. That would be crazy for me to have written that and know that." Like, what?
So stuff is so that will help. Not only will it help us fund the book, but it will also help with participation. And we know that a lot of you guys out there know a whole lot about G.I. Joe.
Yeah.
And honestly, one of the big things that all of our books have been about is to encourage people to learn more about G.I. Joe. So this trivia and activity book is, go get your Skybound compendium, pull it out, and start looking through it and be like, what is this question? I don't know this question. And it's right there on the page. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like your trade paperbacks, or look online. You know what I mean? And I have actually, and this would be kind of a good way to end this thing, I've actually Googled some of the questions that I've written, and Google and AI can't figure them out.
Don't get me started on Google and AI.
They can't figure them out. They're
Google AI is absolute garbage.
Right.
Absolute garbage.
You will need to either know it or look it up in a physical book.
I actually talked about this on I think one of the recent episodes where I was looking up something for G.I. Joe, and it gave me the name Chuck Patton as the character on the show, and we know Chuck Patton is a creator that worked on the show. I literally had the same experience today. I was Googling something about a movie I was watching, and I finished watching it, and I went, oh man, I missed what happened to that one character. And AI told me that character was murdered murdered by character B after he killed character B. Right? So that's what AI said. He got shot by character B after he shot and killed character B. So somehow
did he use the word B or the
the name of the character in the movie. Right. So somehow the character he killed came back to life and then murdered him, according to AI. Thanks a lot, AI. Thank you so much for knowing nothing.
Right.
I love it. Well, that's exciting. That's a great tier.
So,
I think that'd be a fun tier to do.
Yeah. And, of course, through the Kickstarter, you'll be able to get the other books that we've already made, as part of helping out get the Kickstarter to the goal.
Yeah.
Our goal is going to be quite low, $1,500. Basically, this is a cheaper book for us to print, so we don't need to set the higher goals like we did with the other previous books. So hopefully we should be able to hit that really quickly. It's only going to be 30 days to be a short one. Like our previous ones have been longer. But it'll be done before Christmas, right around the end of Thanksgiving. And the schedule for the book would be then we would finish it in January, and it would be on a boat through the early part of 2026. So it would arrive in March or April or May.
I love it. And
most importantly, the majority of it is already done.
Yeah, most importantly, and I mean this sincerely, you guys deliver on your Kickstarters. You promise a product, and that product arrives at your door, and that is 100% without. I'm not gilding the lily here. Like you guys, everything you guys have done Kickstarters for, you have produced, and they've come back looking great, sure, but they actually arrive at your doorstep. We all know Kickstarter can be a little iffy, can be a little couple years down the road kind of a situation. Not with the After Action Report. Their Kickstarters, these guys absolutely deliver. So make sure you check that out. By the time you hear this, you should be about a week or two out. Remember on Kickstarter, do you have it to where they can bookmark the project, or will you have it so when it launches they get notified?
You'll be able to search trivia and activity book G.I. Joe After Action Report, and all of those would come up.
And you'll be notified when it launches, kind of a thing.
Yeah, you have to choose that option.
Right.
That will probably be. See, it's going to launch on the 6th, so let's just say Halloween. Halloween, I'll put the notice out there for that.
Okay,
Or maybe before. Obviously, you know, with Kickstarter, it has to be approved and all this stuff. So
Sure,
you have
of
to.
course.
I have to get to that process and everything like that.
So look for that. Bookmark them as creators in your Kickstarter app. Give them some support. Tell them Joe and Joe sent you, and then tune back in a week or two when I will detail some details on a contest. We'll run it during the Kickstarter month, and we'll get some of these books into your hands, which you are going to enjoy because you guys are all awesome. So trivia and activity book, Josh Eggebeen. Thank you so much for coming on Joe and Joe today.
Yahoo and Yo Joe.
Yo Joe indeed. Now you Joe. And Joeing is half the battle.
That it is.